Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Queen Wellington. Okay, cool. So Queen Wellington writes, connecting HDMI to old school TV. Oh, we love HDMI issues. Hey there, this is a bit strange and perhaps impractical. We love impractical issues, but I am on a mission. I bought an old school TV that only has one input, which is an analog antenna, female RG6. I am looking for a way to connect HDMI cords to the TV. Okay, is there a way to go digital to analog? It is, but it's expensive. Thanks for taking time to read this. I thought about an old school TV that only has one input, which is analog antenna, female RG6. What's female RG6? I just want to make sure he's not talking about component. No. Coax. Oh, just say coaxial. Okay, so basically it's a coaxial. It's a female coaxial. So basically, it's like an old school television, like a television before it had HDMI ports and components and all that. I am looking for a way to connect HDMI cords to the TV. Is there a way to go digital to analog? Thanks for taking time to read this. Well, no. Well, that cable is called coaxial or coax. That is a signal that would run from your cable provider, but this cannot provide HDMI as an input. You would need to have the red, white, and yellow ports or component or VGA in order to transfer to HDMI. Fun fact, my mother has a TV like this, and she used to, and basically on the back of it, there was it was only components, and I think she may have had red, white, and yellow on the back. So she may have had the analog, the old school one that you used for like VCRs, but it was a gigantic TV, so it was like perfectly square, and she had it in this like cabinet, and the cabinet itself was also square. So like there's no TV you can replace it with because the whole thing is square. So it's like a perfect square, like literally it can only fit this 32-inch television. And so but I wanted to change everybody over to Fire Sticks, because with Fire Sticks you can have all of the apps that you wanted, and just paying for that one Fire Stick and then giving everybody else Fire Sticks seemed to be a better option. So well, especially for her, because I didn't want her to be tied down to one location, so I wanted to have just Fire Sticks throughout her house, and she wanted it in her living room. But the Fire Stick is only HDMI. So I ended up buying on Amazon this kit that will convert component to HDMI. It was like $80. It was way more than the actual Fire Stick itself, but I ended up buying that kit, and then came to find out she replaced the television. I was so mad. By the time I got there, she had already replaced it. I had bought it like 2 or 3 weeks before, so I couldn't even return it back. So yeah, I was just hot. So now in my trunk is a component to HDMI, and I have yet to use it. So yeah, you can use or find a component to HDMI. It's very difficult and it's very expensive, but you can find them. But this person here, you don't stand a shot, because what you have is coax. Yeah, but they are look for HDMI to coax. I don't know if you can do that, bro. I don't know if you can do that. HDMI to coax. Holy crap. Huh. I never knew that. Wow, that is insane that you can do that. I never thought of that. Huh. Wow, I never knew that you can do that. Okay. Well, we learn something new every day. Okay. For 1080p, 1080i camera home theater monitor. I don't know if this would actually show something because what channel would you need to be on? Like 3? So, can you also see the channel? I've never tried these, yo. Okay, that's not gonna work. That's Ethernet. So, coax to HDMI. Okay, maybe you can do it. HDMI to coaxial. I've never seen anyone do it, but this man has a whole YouTube video on it. So obviously, this is true. If somebody made a whole video, this is actually a great idea, especially if you already have coax all over the house. What is he showing me?
System.
Okay.
It'll work for that. So this device is my main
HDMI RF modulator, perfect for full HD. So basically, how to convert HDMI to coax cable. So using an RF modulator. Okay, that's a thing. So, okay, sure. I guess it won't be easy, but we can go ahead and link this video and see if it helps them. But I've never done it, so I could be wrong though. Let me figure out which one it was. Keyboard, yeah. Okay, well let's edit this. You would need to have red, white, and yellow or component to transfer to HDMI. Edit. Just saw a picture of something that allowed you to run HDMI to coax. I have not tried this before, but there is a chance this could work. Here is the video I saw. Yeah, I mean, we can point them in the right direction. I've personally never done this before. I've never tried to turn a coax into an HDMI because when coax was coax, nobody had HDMI and nobody cared. So because of that, once the TV started to evolve, they kept coax but had HDMI. I used to have this television. It was a 42-inch Westinghouse, but it wasn't a television. It was a monitor, but it was huge. It was like a platform screen, and it was like 100 pounds. So it was gigantic, but it was 42 inches, right? But it was a monitor. So on the back of it, it had like HDMI, like one HDMI port, and it had like component. It had the red, white, and yellow, and that's it. It did not have coax. So at the time when I had it, I couldn't hook it up to my cable provider. That's back when analog was running, and everybody had analog TV. So because of that, that's just straight up to the coax. Once it went digital though, and everybody had the analog to digital converter, and everybody had we call them DTAs, which are basically, I'll show you instead of actually saying it. So DTA, Google DTA cable box. Yeah, these guys. So we called them DTAs, but what they essentially did was they helped with the decryption of the digital channels. So image. I wish you can turn these around so people can see the back of them. Yeah, here we go. So DTA. So basically, you had these right here, and this probably will solve her issue. Will it? No, it won't. Because why? Why won't that work? She was trying to make an HDMI signal to her. HDMI for what? Okay, so one, that is HDMI out to something. Will this work for her? Okay, but in my point, what I was actually saying is we used to use these right here, and that solved my issue because basically I would have cable in going into this guy, nothing going to the TV, but then I had an HDMI port going into the Westinghouse that allowed it to pick up pictures. So that's what I was trying to get at, but there's a possibility this could work. So let me actually go back to there. We'll say it like this. Also, Also, I am not sure what you need the HDMI for, but we used to have these devices called DTAs. They are free from your cable provider, provided you have cable with them. They have coax in and out in the back, as well as a HDMI out to something. HDMI out port. Not sure what you are trying to connect, but this may work for your situation depending on what you are trying to do. So it's worth a shot, plus it's free. So yeah, I'll go ahead and add that too. I don't know if it'll work. I'm just trying to remember, man. It was so long ago, because I've only set up, like, I've sold and helped people configure them remotely, but I've only set up like 3 in my whole life. So, and 9 times out of 10, I just went coax in and then to an HDMI port on the television. And so this person here has a coax port on their television, but they're trying to turn the coax into HDMI. I don't know if you go coax in to coax out and then an HDMI on the back of that guy to another television, maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. So it's better to just let them know that they can basically get what's called a DTA and see if that will help them with their situation, because it does have an HDMI port on the back. So we'll just go with that and we'll leave it alone. But this guy really had it. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, if they want to turn it into a thing, they can, I guess. That's one way to look at it. But we'll see what they say, because that's some good closure, because that's kind of an older issue that I do want to have closure to. I've never actually tried that HDMI port with the coax and see if it actually works. So I don't know what extent these DTAs work. So that would be something that we probably should want, because if somebody else asks for this, you know, as the years progress, probably less and less people, it's still good to know how to troubleshoot this.